Hello everyone. In my previous video, I started the topic types of companies. This video consists of the second part of the topic, types of companies. In my last video, I discussed about unincorporated or unregistered companies, incorporated or registered companies, public company, private company, one person company, companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, companies with unlimited liabilities. In this video, I will discuss about the classification of companies on the basis of control, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of access to capital market. So let us know what are the companies that can be classified on the basis of control. The company that comes under this category is holding and subsidiary, and the second one is associate company. Section 2, subsection 46 of the Companies Act 2013 says that a holding company is one which has control over another company. And the company over which the control is exercised is called the subsidiary company. These two terms, that is holding and subsidiary, are relative terms. They cannot be used separately. Where there is a holding company, there must be a subsidiary one. So, according to Section 2, subsection 87, a company becomes a holding company if it holds more than 50% of the total shares of another company. Here, the total share capital means the aggregate of equity share capital and convertible preference shares capital. The second company that comes under this category is associate company. The concept of associate company is a new concept introduced under the Companies Act 2013. The legal definition of associate company is given under Section 2, subsection 6 of the Companies Act 2013. The analysis of this section says that a company is regarded as an associate company where another company has substantial influence in such a company. Substantial influence here means the control of at least 20% of total share capital or of business decisions under any agreement. And such a company is not a subsidiary of the company having influence, or where another company is a joint venture company. Now we move on to our next classification, that is classification on the basis of ownership. Two kinds of companies come under this category: government companies and non-government companies. The definition of a government company is contained in Section 2, subsection 45 of the Companies Act 2013. A government company is one in which 51% or more of the paid-up share capital is held by the central government or by any one or more state governments, or partly by central government or partly by one or more state governments. A government company has a separate legal entity from the government forming it. The Supreme Court of India has held that though a company may be fully owned by the government, it has a separate entity. A government company is neither a government department nor a government establishment. Now we move on to the next point, that is non-government companies. Any company in which 51% or more of the paid up share capital is held by one or more private entrepreneurs or by public or a group of persons other than the government is said to be a non-government company. Such a company may be in the private, cooperative, or joint sector of the economy. The next classification of the companies is based on access to capital market. On the basis of access to capital market, the companies may be of two types: listed companies and unlisted companies. A listed company is defined under Section 2, subsection 52 of the Companies Act 2013. According to this section, a listed company means a company which has any of its securities listed on any recognized stock exchange. Listed companies enter into an agreement with the stock exchanges and follow the guidelines given in the listing agreement of respective stock exchange. Shares of listed companies are traded in the stock exchange where it is listed. It means shares are purchased, shares are sold through the stock exchange. Unlisted companies do not have any of its securities listed on any recognized stock exchange. They source their capital from their members and friends and relatives of their members and directors. Such companies are not empowered to issue prospectus for inviting public for subscription of their securities. Such companies are not liable to comply with any regulations issued by the Securities and Exchange Board of India. In short, we called it SEBI. But they are liable to comply with the rules and guidelines issued by the central government or Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So these are some important classification of companies that come under different categories. In addition to the above mentioned companies, there are certain other companies which need some discussion. They are charitable company, small company, dormant company, foreign company, and producer company. A company registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013 is usually called a charitable company or licensed company. Another name given to such companies is association not for profit. They are not formed for the purpose of earning profits. Such companies are formed to carry charitable activities such as to promote art, sports, science, and culture, etc. The prior approval of the central government is very much important to form such type of company. In case of the government, in case the government is satisfied, it may issue a license allowing to be registered as a limited company under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013. The next company is a small company, which is defined under Section 2, subsection 85 of the Companies Act 2013. A small company may be a private company that means other than a public company, and the paid up share capital of such a company does not exceed rupees 50 lakh, or the turnover should not exceed rupees 2 crore. A small company avails so much benefit which other companies may not. So, a small company cannot be a holding or subsidiary company. A company registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013 cannot come under the category of small company. And a company incorporated under a special act cannot be considered as a small company. So now we move on to the next company, that is Dormant Company. Sometimes a company is formed and registered under this act for a future project or to hold an asset or intellectual property. In other words, such a company is called Inactive Company. An inactive company means a company which has not been carrying on any business or operation, or has not made any significant accounting transaction during the last 2 financial years, or has not filed financial statements or annual returns during the last 2 financial years. Such a company may make an application to the registrar in the prescribed manner for obtaining the status of dormant company and enjoy various relaxations under the Companies Act 2013. The next company is foreign company. The term foreign company is defined in section 2, subsection 42. This section says that the foreign company is a company or body corporate which has been incorporated outside India, but has established a place of business in India, whether by itself or through an agent physically or through electronic mode, and conducts any business activity in India. The Companies Act 2013 has widened the definition of foreign company. This section also covers those companies who are doing online business in India. It means through website, through electronic medium, through mobile application, they are working in India. Now we move on to the last one, that is producer company. Producer company is defined under section 581 of the Companies Act 1956. In Companies Act 2013, there is no any new concept regarding producer company. This company is best for agriculture-based economy. The object of the producer company shall relate to all or any of the following, such as production of agricultural goods, harvesting of agricultural goods, procurement of harvested goods, pooling, handling, grading, marketing, selling, export of primary produce of the members, or import of goods or services for their benefit. So the main purpose of forming such types of companies is to promote agricultural products. So this was the second part of the classification of companies. Once again, thank you very much for watching.